Welcome to our channel and aboard Tootsie Marie. My name is Yvette and this is Tyler. We are a couple from Seattle, Washington who decided to buy a catamaran and move to the Caribbean. We hope you will join us for this crazy adventure and all the fun and challenging things that lie ahead. We just pulled anchor and we're heading to Virginia in the USA. We're leaving here from the Bahamas.
Our target is Cardinal, Virginia. It's about 675 nautical miles. If everything goes well, we'll be there in 4 days.
Yeah, this will be our longest voyage to date. We're excited to get back to the States, start working on our RV that we'll be cruising along with.
Come along for the ride.
We were excited to finally get underway. We'd been waiting in Marsh Harbor for what felt like a month, but I think it was just a couple of weeks, waiting on a weather window to open for us. And we finally had one that wasn't very big, but we decided to take it because we were running out of time to make it out for our haul out. The first couple days was going to be no wind or almost no wind, so we'd be head sailing and motoring until the wind picks up so we can sail the second half and make it before the wind shifts to the north and picks up speed as the projected storm comes down the east coast. Wind from the north is usually not ideal when you're heading north because of the Gulf Stream. It creates very tall waves, making for a very uncomfortable voyage.
As far as sleeping and rest time, we would typically do 6 hours on, 6 hours off, so each one of us had a chance to relax while the other person kept watch and was behind the wheel. We're so grateful for our Starlink, which works all the way out here in the middle of nowhere. We were able to stream some of our favorite shows and watch them in the evenings.
After every 12 hours of runtime, I'd pop down and check the oil and look around to make sure everything was okay with the engines.
You can see here that there's a squall in the distance. We're always trying to avoid those if we can, and also debris in the water. This little guy is a Caspian tern. He took the opportunity to recharge his batteries on his way home. Land ho!
They call them weather predictions for a reason. And unfortunately the weather didn't cooperate and shift as we were hoping, so instead of getting caught out around Cape Hatteras with the storm coming, we decided to pull off and enjoy the next couple ports. The first one we stopped at was Beaufort, North Carolina.
A fun fact about Beaufort is that it is North Carolina's fourth oldest town, which was established in 1713, and it's absolutely charming. Beaufort possesses an old-world Southern charm steeped in maritime history, with lots of good restaurants serving locally caught seafood.
Before leaving Beaufort, we hit the fuel dock to top off the tanks and met this gentleman that has rode his motorcycle around the United States for the last 20 years. Quite the journey, I'm sure. After departing Beaufort, we headed down around Cape Lookout and started making our way north, towards the next port, Ocracoke, where we ducked in to ride out the remainder of the storm.
If you can't tell, we're pretty bundled up and we're very cold. After coming from paradise, this weather is quite shocking. Ocracoke is quite the summer destination. Year-round, there's about 1,000 people who live in this area, but in the summer, the population swells to thousands of day trippers and vacationers a day. Ocracoke Island is roughly 13 miles long, but the village of Ocracoke itself is only 4 square miles. We rented a golf cart to buzz around town and get the lay of the land. We just pulled anchor here in Silver Lake at Ocracoke, and we're heading to Hampton, Virginia. It'll be about 24 hours, and we're anxious to finally get to our destination. Our time in Beaufort and here in Ocracoke were unexpected due to the storm. But we never would have stopped here in the Outer Banks otherwise, so I'm grateful. The Outer Banks are a barrier of islands off the coast of the U.S., separating the Atlantic from the mainland.
Out here dodging squalls. One off our port. Gonna pull right behind the one off our bow. Keep it moving.
But sometimes they're just too big to avoid. And this one met us at nightfall with 40 plus knot winds.
On the morning of the 11th day, we had finally dried off from the storm and made it to the mouth of Chesapeake Bay.
We were surprised by the amount of maritime traffic in the mouth of Chesapeake Bay.
There were so many cargo ships coming and going, and with the strong military presence, we even saw a few warships. The Chesapeake Bay is the largest estuary in the United States, which means it's a large area where the tide meets the stream. So a combination of freshwater and saltwater. Chesapeake Bay is so incredibly massive. It was much larger than I thought, holding about 18 trillion gallons of water and 4,479 square miles.
We ended up rerouting to Salt Pond Marina in Hampton Bay to wait for our haul-out date, since the dock at the haul-out location was full.
These places here in the US are a lot different than what we're used to. In fact, this is the first time that Tootsie Marie has ever been in the USA. They are beautiful in their own way, and we're so grateful to finally be here.
We made it to the final destination.
We made it! What was it? A 4-day tour took 11?
Yeah, four-day tour turned into 11.
But we made it.
Here we are.
Oh, we're wiped out. We're ready for a good night's sleep, but we're glad to be here and back in the USA.
Yep.
Thank you for taking time out of your day to follow us on this journey. Be sure to tune in next week as we drive down to Florida to pick up Goldilocks.